It's Saturday. You know what that means. Nope, not the Win 225 rebuy. Today we're going to play day 1C of the Venetian $600 200K. Why is this tournament so special? Metagame. Metagame and tournament scheduling is of utmost importance. If you're a full-time player looking for long-time profitability, also going on is day 1C of the Heartland Poker Tour at Westgate, a 1650 buy-in. Completely interferes with this event. Day 2 for both events is tomorrow, so if you're a top pro, you have to choose between the 600 at the Venetian or the 1650 Heartland Poker Tour televised final table. As predicted, I've seen who's bagged up for the first 2 days of the Venetian, and I don't recognize anybody but one person. So, it's a very easy metagame choice to come play the Venetian 600, where the field is already extremely soft based on some of my scouts that are currently playing. The only bad news is it's 4 o'clock. Had a rough night on the town last night. Shout out to Kirk and Tim. Thanks for the dinner at Prime. But we're going to make the most of it. We feel good now, showered, ready to go, play some no-limit hold'em tournament action. Luckily, there is a 30,000 starting stack in this event, so it shouldn't be too bad. Still should have 40 blinds when we register. Bag and tag around midnight. Take it down tomorrow. Let's get it.
You can find me in St. Louis.
Can I have a coffee with cream and sugar?
Sure.
Thank you.
What the gun play, rain all day. Some got jobs and some sell, yay.
With blinds at 250, 500, 75, under the gun, limps. 3 more limps. We're in the middle position with ace queen off, so we're going to isolate all this loose dead money and make it 2,800. Person to my left calls. Action folds to the under the gun player, who makes it 10,000 to go. He has 5,000 behind. My gut says, oh my God, the biggest trick in the book, the old limp re-raise. How often is this a bluff? The other limpers fold and action is to me. I have 35,000. If I was to shove, I'd be risking 15,000. There's already 7,000, 8,000, 11,000 with his initial call in the pot. So 7,000 more to me plus 5,000. Getting almost 2 to 1 if I was to jam ISO, ace queen off here. Pretty close. I was going to fold initially, but when I realized he only had 5K behind, I kind of felt like I was getting the right price, even against his strong range. So we shove. Other caller folds. He calls and he shows pocket aces. Big surprise. I just fell for the biggest trick in the book. Board runs out. Queen high. Only one queen. Not good enough. And we lose 35K pot. We currently have 20,000 chips. Let's break down the math versus tendencies. Everyone can say in retrospect, yeah, the old limp re-raise, that's always kings plus. Maybe only aces, especially from an old guy. I get it. I've seen it. Understandable. Very likely. But let's look at the likelihood of actually getting pocket aces under the gun. At this prestigious Venetian tournament, $510 buy-in plus $90 rake. We're playing 10-handed. So, the odds of getting dealt pocket aces are 1 in 220. With blinds at 400, 800, Under the gun opens for 1800. Under the gun +1 calls. The button and the cutoff both call, and actions to us in the small blind with ace queen offsuit. I love ace queen. We have 22,000 to start the hand. My original plan after the under the gun raise and under the gun +1 call was to just flat call and play some flops based on the strength of their positions. But with the additional, say, 4K in dead money from the cutoff and button loose calls, I think it's profitable to jam ace queen here for about 25 blinds. So we go for it. 10 more minutes left of re-entry, so we're here to gamble. This field is super soft, so we want to build a stack and be able to use these chips as weapons. The big blind folds, under the gun folds, under the gun +1 snap jams 17,000 in. Looks like I was trapped. The other two players fold, and she shows ace king offsuit. The board runs out, all bricks, no hope. And we lose another huge pot. We now have 4,000 chips. A few minutes left before we go on dinner break. I get in my last 4,000 with 10-7, the hand before dinner break and re-entry period closing. Same girl has pocket jacks, and they hold, and we're out of the Venetian $600 200K. I forgoed, forwent, abstained. I don't know the word, but I chose this over the juicy America's Card Room Saturday schedule of tournaments in the comfort of my own home. Horrible choice in retrospect, especially with it being an uncomfortable 10-handed. But my buddies have encouraged me to re-enter. We're going to be coming back with 30 blinds for $600, and we're back in the Venetian 600. Let's bag and tag and make this journey worth it. No regrets. With blinds at 500, 1,100, this is the very first hand after dinner break. We have a fresh 30,000 chip stack. Under the gun +1 limps. We're under the gun +2, and we look down at ace king of clubs. We raise it up to 3,500. The big blind calls and the limper calls. The flop comes. Queen 6-3, 2 clubs. Excellent flop for us to barrel. Action checks to us, so we bet 6,000. A great size in case we get called. We can shove any turn unless it improves our hand, in which case we'll be unbalanced and go for 1/3 of our stack value. We're heads up to the turn. The turn is an offsuit 7. Big blind snap jams for 40,000. We have about 20,000 behind. Are we getting the right price to call it off with 2 overs and a flush draw? Let me know in the comments if you would make this call with ace king of clubs. We try to assess a range for this unconventional line, and eventually we put him on top pair plus. The only hand we can reasonably beat is a hand like 8-9 or 8-5 of clubs for a turned bigger combo draw. Against everything else, we're only getting 18% to hit our flush draw, and our ace or king could be good maybe half the time. So chippy V-wise, we're not getting quite the right price, and we make the fold. Our opponent says something along the lines of, "You gotta have balls to make that call," as he scoops the pot. That's what we call chirping chips. It's pretty gross in live poker. I love live poker. With blinds at 500, 1,100, we're under the gun with pocket kings. 50,000 chips in our stacks. We make it 2,500 to go. Under the gun +2 calls, middle position calls. We're 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes. Queen 10-8. Could c-bet here, but I'd rather check and see what happens without having to commit any chips. If there's a lot of action, like a bet and a raise, I can confidently fold. Or if it checks through, I'm definitely good. Under the gun +2 bets, 4,500. Middle position calls. Can I fold kings here? Can I put one of them on a set of 8s or queen 10 for 2 pair, maybe jack 9? Am I just beat? Do I have no backdoor equity? I think a raise is out of the question. That'd be overplaying our hands, so we're gonna stay somewhat deceptive and just put in the call. The turn is a jack, rainbow board. We could have definitely played ace-king like this. We check, middle position 2 bets, 12,000. Middle position folds, and it's back to us. He has 50,000 total. We have about 40,000 behind. Should we just call? Let's think about what he's betting here. He's repping a straight, maybe a set. Probably too thin for 2 pair. If he has a straight, what straight does he have that includes a 9 in his hand? What 9x hands would call pre and bet the flop? King 9? Probably not. 10-9. Would you bet the flop with 10-9 here? Pocket 9s? I don't think there's many 9s in his range, but he could have a lot of 2 pair combos. So we decided to go for it, shove all in as a bluff with pocket kings. Crazy, I know, but I think this will work. He thinks for a few seconds and puts in the call and says, chop. Clearly not giving me credit for ace-king, king-9. He shows 10-9 suited. The river is a 4, and we're out again of the Venetian 600, 200K. We did sell 40% and have a 10% swap still pending. So we'll figure out the damage after my swap is finished playing. Hopefully he wins. Let's keep this bankroll challenge going in the right direction.